Hey guys, welcome to Green Bean Fiction. So in today's video we are gonna see, what if Deku had power of Arcane and fell for Orianna? Movie MHA x League of Legends. This story is Izuku Viktor by DKDDKS10. Before starting, make sure to hit that like button, as your one like motivates me to bring more stories, and subscribe the channel if you are new so you won't miss our latest videos. In a world where people are born with powers, I'd better skip this part, because we all know how it starts. We find ourselves in the middle of a war zone, where the confrontation of the century was taking place. AFO, Shigaraki. I don't know if you're either very brave, or very stupid. Izuku. I won't let you hurt anyone else, and I don't care if I die to make that happen. AFO comes up with something. AFO, Shigaraki. You don't mind dying. Then let's see if you'll like this. AFO, Shigaraki's body is covered by a large number of quirks, and he fires a beam of energy at Izuku, causing everything to go white. The epic fight that took place cannot be appreciated. Nothing, absolutely nothing, everything is white. A few hours later, Izuku was in the hospital, very, very badly injured. At that moment, some people enter the room. Saki. Izuku, loudly crying. Saki throws herself into his arms. Izuku. Hello, Saki, very weakly. Mineta. You damn suicidal person. A little more and you would have cleared the way for Saki to be my girlfriend. Denki covers his mouth. Denki. I'm sorry for what you said, we're leaving now. He drags Mineta out of the room. With the teachers. They were talking to a doctor. Inko. Will my son recover? Doctor. I'm afraid I don't have a clear answer for what's happening to you. It's as if your body has stopped fighting and no longer wants to live. I estimate you have a few months to live. He leaves. Upon hearing that, Inko begins to shed tears and falls to her knees. With Izuku, her friends had left her alone in the room. The young green-haired man was trying to stand up, but as he did so, his mind would show him something. Memory. Izuku. I don't think I'm the right person for this. I know a bit about mechanical engineering, but working in another world. That sounds like science fiction to me. It may seem strange to you, but believe me, boy, you are destined for great things. End of memory. Izuku. Maybe he was right. That same night, Izuku had been discharged from the hospital, and right now he was in his room at his mother's house. Izuku removes a board from the floor. Izuku. I had to give the most powerful gift to my mentor's son. Take a box out of the floor. Izuku. I have a few months left to live. Take something out of the box. Izuku. And they discharged me because of my condition. Anyone would be demotivated in my place, but I still have a card to play in this life. Sees what he took out of the box. Izuku. I hope the teacher can help me. Izuku places the sphere in the weapon, and fires it. A portal opens. Izuku. I won't die without a fight. Izuku enters the portal, and it closes. Izuku was traveling through portals, until he reached a place that left him more than surprised. Izuku. Wow. At that moment, Izuku hears a whistling sound, but when he looks back, he sees a crazy girl with a gun shooting everywhere. Jinx. Ha 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 ha, back to school. Jinx sets her sights on Izuku and fires, but someone pushes him away, preventing Jinx's attack. When Izuku opened his eyes, he would see the person who saved him. Orianna. Are you okay? Izuku. Yeah, Izuku couldn't finish because Jinx approached them. Jinx. You're such a spoilsport, Orianna, it was a perfect target, how boring. Orianna. A person is not a target for your weapon. Jinx. Treat Fishface with more respect, he's very sensitive, hugging her weapon, and don't you know how to speak or what? Izuku didn't know what to say. Orianna. What's your name? Izuku. Yo, Izuku Midoriya. Orianna. What a lovely name. Izuku blushes slightly. Jinx. Hey, what's wrong with your eyes? Izuku. What do you mean? Orianna gives Izuku a mirror, and when he sees himself in it, he notices that his eyes begin to change to a duller color. Izuku. I need to talk to Professor Heimerdinger. He stands up with some difficulty. Orianna. If you wish, I can take you to him. Izuku. Thank you. Orianna and Izuku enter Legends Academy, and Izuku is a little surprised by all the people there. Izuku. There are quite a few who attend this school. Orianna. And you haven't even seen most of them. What the hell have I gotten myself into? There are literally a ton of characters, I'm sure I'll forget about 10 of them. A few minutes later, Izuku and Orianna were standing in front of the doors of a large office. Orianna. Okay, here we are, the principal's office. Izuku. So Heimerdinger is the principal. Orianna. Yep, okay, do we go in or wait? At that moment, the door opens and someone comes out of the office. Hello, Orianna, who is your friend? Orianna. Jace, this is Izuku Midoriya, he's here to find Professor Heimerdinger. Jace. I see, welcome to the group, Izuku. Izuku. Of course. Jace walks away from them, and Izuku and Orianna enter the office. In the office was a little man with quite a bit of hair. Heimerdinger. Orianna, it's a pleasure to see you, looks at Izuku, I can't believe it, you look so different from the last time we met. Izuku. Life is already taking its toll on me, although to be honest, I was able to live my dream a little, sits in a chair, it's a pleasure to see you Professor, it's been a while, to be honest, I thought I had dreamed all the time we spent together. Heimerdinger. Yes, sometimes I would get information about your progress, and what you were achieving. Izuku. Classic of you, Professor. Orianna just listened attentively to what the two of them were saying. Heimerdinger. I assume you accepted the old request I gave you. Izuku. Not exactly, starts coughing a little, the truth is I'm running out of time, I just want to find a way to get a little more time. Heimerdinger. What do you mean? Izuku. I managed to fulfill a small fraction of my dream, but unfortunately I paid the consequences. The villain I faced used a power over me, and caused me great harm, and I don't have much time left to live. Heimerdinger. I'm truly sorry, but I'm afraid I have no way to help you. Upon hearing that, Izuku would feel quite discouraged. Orianna. You really can't help him. Heimerdinger. I really want to help you, Izuku, but... At that moment, Heimerdinger had an idea. Heimerdinger. There might be some way to help you, but it's too dangerous. Izuku. Okay, tell me, how can I save myself? Heimerdinger. It's risky, but maybe I can help you. Orianna. Are you referring to? Heimerdinger. The Shining. Izuku. What? Heimerdinger. The glow is a drug that can increase people's physical capabilities, it might help you, but it will also affect your mind too much. Izuku. In what way? Heimerdinger. It could cause you quite serious psychological damage. Izuku. Perhaps we could create a safer variant. Heimerdinger. It could work, but it would take time, maybe a week. Izuku. Agreed, I'll wait. Orianna. So, what do you plan to do until then? Izuku. I have no reason to return home, so maybe I'll stay for a while. Orianna. How wonderful, smile. Izuku. Why, Orianna? Because you'll be able to heal, and also, I'd like to know a little about your home. Izuku. Okay. 1 hour later, Izuku and Orianna were talking in the cafeteria. Izuku. And when I met Professor Heimerdinger, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a bad joke, but when he explained his multiversal travel experiment to me, I was surprised. He taught me several things and proposed that I work with him, but I refused. I wanted to fulfill my dream of being a hero. Sometimes I think that if I had listened to him, I wouldn't be like this now. Orianna. Maybe, but from what you told me, you've helped many people, so for me, you're already a hero. In Musafatu, all of Izuku's classmates and teachers were looking for him. Momo. Did they find him? Hiro. No, we checked tunnels, villains' hideouts, cameras, it's as if he literally disappeared. Denki. People don't just disappear off the face of the earth, maybe they simply use a gift to keep it out of the search radius. Mineta. That doesn't make sense, besides, since when do you talk like that? Denki. Since I started using Wikipedia. Mineta. That still doesn't make sense. Jiruo. Shut your mouths already. He knocks them out with his gift. Saki arrives at the place. Saki. Any progress? Momo. None, we were unable to locate Izuku. Saki starts to worry even more. With Izuku, he and Orianna were walking through the hallways, until a door flew off, and a large amount of smoke came out of the place. Jace leaves the place, accompanied by a masked individual. It turned out better than expected. Jace. I don't think so. If we keep failing, we won't be able to deliver the project on time. Izuku. What happened? Jace and the boy turn around and see Izuku and Orianna. Jace. Oh, guys, hi, don't worry, it's just a project that Echo and I are doing. Izuku. Do you need help? Because I know a little bit about mechanical engineering. Echo. Please, we really need help. Everyone comes in and sees the project on the table. Echo. I present to you, the future of speed, I call it, the Hextech skateboard. Jace. Its function is to reach high speeds, but when it exceeds 50 kilometers per hour, it overheats and the battery explodes. Izuku. Have you used any kind of cooling? It could be useful when the battery is about to overheat. Echo. It might work. Jace. Okay, time to work. And so the three of them began working on the cooling system for the Hextech skateboard. 1 hour later, Echo, Jace, Izuku, and Orianna were outside the Legends Academy. Echo. Okay, time to try it. Echo was ready to try out the Hextech skateboard, but two people approached them. Hey guys, what are you doing? Everyone turns around, and they see two girls. Orianna. V. Caitlin. Hi, how are you? V. Excellent, we had the best night of our lives. Caitlin. Flushed. V. What's that? Sees the Hextech skateboard, it looks fun, can I try it? Izuku. Sure, hands over the skateboard. Everyone moves a little further away. Caitlin. I'm not sure about this. V. Relax, sweetie, everything will be alright. V advances a little, and Echo. Ha 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 ha. In Musafatu. Saki. This is impossible, people don't disappear without a trace. Uraraka. Some villain must have kidnapped Deku. The heroes made it public that he was leaving UA. Saki. What the hell were you thinking? Momo. Maybe there's someone who wants to hurt Midoriya. Denki. I already have a list of possible suspects. He gives it to Sina. Sina. They are literally all the criminals we know. Denki. Yes, and a couple more that I don't like. Sina. And they're all over the city. Tartaros was deactivated after the war. Denki. Come on, we've got a long night ahead of us, and bring your pants for kicking ass ready to leave. Bakugo. Am I one of the suspects? Denki. Tell me where you were the night of the kidnapping. Threatening. Bakugo. I didn't do it, I'm not an idiot criminal. Denki. We'll see about that. He walks away from Bakugo. Momo. Maybe there's a better way to find Midoriya. Denki. Better than spending 6 or 8 days searching the streets, kicking the asses of all the criminals in Musafatu, until we stumble upon the criminal who kidnapped our friend. Everyone looks at Denki with a look of astonishment. Mineta. Maybe I shouldn't have given you that drug. With Izuku. He was talking to V and Caitlin. Izuku. So they're a couple. Caitlin. Yes, and I couldn't have asked for a better girl to spend the rest of my life with. Upon hearing that, I saw her hug Caitlin very tightly. V. I love you so much, Cupcake. Caitlin. I love you too, V. Izuku was happy for them in a way, but at the same time, sad that he couldn't feel love for another person. A few hours later, Izuku was exploring the Legends Academy. At that moment, Izuku bumps into Jace. Jace. Izuku, hey, your cooling off idea was awesome, it actually worked perfectly. Izuku. It was just an idea, it wasn't a big deal. Jace. Well, it seemed to me like an idea from someone with experience. Izuku. Well, I learned a thing or two from reading books about engineering. Jace. I see, would you be interested in helping me create some things? Izuku. That sounds good to me. In Musafatu, the heroes had already given up. They had all lost hope of finding Izuku. Momo. It's useless. Saki. Come on, let's not lose hope, we're sure we can find Izuku. Mina. We spent all night looking for him, it's literally already daytime, and we haven't found him. Saki begins to look at her classmates in a negative light. Saki. Do what you want, I'll keep looking for Izuku. With Izuku, he and Jace were reviewing some blueprints. Jace. What do you think? I'll call them the Hextech Fists. Izuku. They would be quite useful in the mining fields. Jace. Yes, although, to be honest, I don't know how to power them up. The last time I used the prototype, they ended up exploding. Izuku. What if we use this? He hands over the energy sphere. Jace takes it, and is surprised. Jace. How did you get it? Izuku. It was a gift from Professor Heimerdinger. Jace. I see, I'm sure it has enough energy to make them work. Izuku. Let's try it then. Orianna. She was talking to V and Caitlin. V. That skateboard is excellent. Orianna. You say that because you fell into Caitlin's arms. I saw. Yes, and I'm not ashamed. Relieved face. Caitlin. Changing the subject, I heard that boy, Midoriya, is suffering from a serious illness. How does he plan to cure himself? Orianna. Well, Professor Heimerdinger has modified the brightness to make it safe to use. Caitlin. Has he gone mad? Orianna. No, but he believes that the brightness could be modified so that people could use it as a medicine. V. It doesn't sound so bad. Caitlin looks down on V. V. Ooh, come on, Cupcake, don't tell me you're mad. Caitlin. I just think that experimenting with glitter is pretty dangerous. V. If you say so, but I think it's a very good idea. Stands up. V leaves the place. 1 hour later, V passes by Jace's workshop and sees his friend's new invention. V. Wow, star-struck. Izuku. Genial, no. V. More than that, it's messed up. Enters the workshop. Jace puts one on, and with extreme ease, lifts a rock. Jace. Designed to withstand any type of weight, and with the ability to destroy whatever is in front of them. V. Can you give them to me? Open mouth smile. Izuku. What do you say, Jace? Jace. Okay, but try not to damage them. He hands them over. V puts on the gloves. V. Ooh yes, they're amazing. By the way, can you design this for me? Hands them a sheet of paper. They both look at the sheet, and are surprised by the drawing. Izuku. You're kidding, right? V. No, I really want it. Jace. I'm not sure I want to do this. Izuku. Me neither. V. Come on, do this for me, and then I'll do you a favor. Jace and Izuku think about it for a moment, but decide to accept. Jace. Okay, give us half an hour. Half an hour later, V enters Caitlin's room, carrying a box. V. Hello, Cupcake, I have a bet you won't be able to resist. Caitlin. Okay, dime. V. Okay, if you win, I'll do all the paperwork for the next 2 weeks. Caitlin. What if I lose? V. You're going to have to use this for the rest of the day. Caitlin looks inside the box, and is more than amazed. Caitlin. Challenge accepted. V. Okay, then, 1. Caitlin. Caitlin, we. 30. V. Yes. A few minutes later. V. You look great, Cupcake. Caitlin. Te odio. V. I love you too. 1 week later. Izuku had adapted to his new environment, and he and Jace had become very good friends. In addition, Izuku and Orianna became very close. At the moment, Izuku was in a laboratory, beginning tests with the modified glow. In addition, Izuku's friends were behind a glass partition, in case anything went wrong. Jinx. I hope the same thing happens to him as happened to the idiots who use normal brightness. Orianna. I hope nothing bad happens to him. Worried about Izuku. Izuku takes a shiny bottle. Izuku. Okay, time for the test. Izuku takes a syringe, and sucks up some glitter with it. Izuku injects it into his arm, and his veins begin to glow a bright pink color, as do his eyes. Izuku begins to feel unimaginable pain, and his friends quickly enter the laboratory. Echo begins searching the cabinets for something to soothe the pain, while Orianna hugs Izuku. Orianna. Calm down, Izuku, everything will be alright. Caitlin finds a tranquilizer and injects it into Izuku's neck. Caitlin. That's going to help. Izuku begins to feel less pain and no longer feels any pain at all. Izuku. Another failure. Jace la passa su bastana Izuku. Jace. You should get some rest for today. Orianna helps Izuku to his feet, and helps him leave the laboratory. In Musafatu. It had been a difficult few months for everyone. Literally everyone had lost hope. Everyone believed that Izuku was dead, and although crime levels had decreased, everyone felt that things were not going to improve. I should clarify that time passes differently in each dimension. For Izuku it was a week, but for his world, months passed. For some, Izuku died defending someone, and for others, the illness he had consumed him completely. But for Class 1A, they felt that their friend was still alive, somewhere, but they didn't know where he was. But the pain was greater for others, and by others I mean Saki and Inko. They were the ones who were most affected. In the Legends Academy, Izuku was drinking some water, in the company of Orianna. Orianna, you're too stubborn to use glitter. Izuku, I just don't want to die, I'm afraid of death. Orianna, I thought it wasn't like that. Izuku, well, at first, I was brave, I wasn't afraid of anything, but now I feel very weak. Orianna felt bad for Izuku, and she took his hand. Izuku turns to look at Orianna, and she smiles at him. Meanwhile, both were being watched by their friends. I saw. How cute open-mouth smile. Jinx. Yes, although I doubt I'll live long enough for them to become boyfriend and girlfriend. Caitlin. Jinx, you're not helping. Jinx. Who said I was helping? Echo. You'd better keep a little calm. With Izuku, he and Orianna stand up and leave the place. Wait, where are you going? Echo. Maybe they've finished talking. In Musafatu, all the students from UA Academy could be seen in what looked like a cemetery. At that location, Izuku's funeral was taking place. Some were more than emotionally devastated, while others didn't even care. All Might takes to a podium to deliver his speech. All Might. Young Midoriya was unique. He always wanted to be a hero, and despite the difficulties, he achieved it. He was able to become a hero by defeating the greatest villain the world has ever known. Thank you for your attention. Steps down from the podium. Now, Inko takes the podium and gives her speech. Inko. My son, my Izuku, he admired heroes every moment of his life. He always wanted to be one in the future, and now, he died being one. Despite everything, he never stopped, and I know that now that he has achieved his goal, he can finally rest. Steps down from the podium. A few minutes later, some were mourning Izuku's death, while others were leaving the area. Mineta. Now I'll be the only virgin in the group, loudly crying. Denki. I doubt Izuku died a virgin, face with cold sweat. Sachi's child. She was leaning against a tree, away from the others. At that moment, her friend Sina approaches her. Sina. Saki, would you like me to keep you company? Saki. Yes, please do it. Sina sits next to Saki, and Saki hugs her. Saki. I don't want to lose hope, but I can't go on like this anymore. I know Izuku is alive somewhere, but. Saki starts to burst into tears, and Sina begins to comfort her. With Izuku, he and Orianna were walking through the hallways, while their friends followed them from a distance. Orianna. Hey, I think they're following us, what if we play a little prank on them? Izuku. Sure, I don't see why not. They both enter a classroom. Wow, this just got interesting. Caitlin. I think we should just leave them alone. Jinx. You're so boring, I bet you don't know how to have fun. I don't understand how V goes out with someone as boring as you. Caitlin begins to feel somewhat sad because of what Jinx said. Jace. Anyway, we'd better sneak in. Jinx. Stealthily. Pulls out a fish face, I don't know what that means. Shoots. Jinx completely destroys the wall and door, and causes a small earthquake. Do you have shit for brains or what? Jinx. Maybe. Everyone enters the classroom, and they don't see Izuku or Orianna. Echo. We killed them. Fearful face. With Izuku, he and Orianna were in a place unknown to the teachers. Izuku. Where are we? Orianna. This is an area between Piltover and Zon, and from time to time some students come here to clear their minds of their problems. Izuku. It's cute, I like it. Orianna. I'm happy for you, I hope you find a cure for your illness soon. Izuku. I hope so, and I hope to be able to spend more time with you all, and with you. The next day, Izuku and Orianna were at the Legends Academy Theater, in the company of their friends. Jace. The theater, one of the best forms of entertainment. Jinx. And the worst places to steal, all they have is props, nothing that costs more than 3 cents. Echo. Did you think things were real? Jinx. Yes, is there a problem? Echo. No, ninguno. At that moment, everyone hears a beautiful melody, and upon entering one of the stages, they see a young man playing an instrument. Izuku. Who is he? Orianna. He is Jin, one of the best musicians at the academy, and an expert in weaponry. Izuku. He sounds like a very interesting person. In Musafatu, all the students were in class, but most of them were quite sad about no longer having their green-haired friend. Saki, for her part, had begun a thorough investigation to discover exactly what really happened. At that moment, Aizawa enters the classroom. Aizawa. Good day everyone. No one answers. Aizawa mind finally, a little calm. Saki thinking I have to find a way to find more clues, but how? Aizawa. Today we're going to an exhibit at the History Museum about heroes. Uraraka. So this will be about the golden age of heroes. Aizawa. Exactly. Saki thinking I guess I could use a break. With Izuku, he and his friends were watching Jin's performance. Jin finishes playing his song, and everyone applauds him. Jinx. Not bad, boy band. Jin. Thank you, you are an excellent audience. Izuku. You're quite skilled with music. Jin. You could say that music is my passion in my life. Jace. Always so obsessive. Jin. Maybe. By the way, Jace, have you spoken to Mel yet? I have the perfect tune if you're interested. Everyone is confused by what Jin said. Izuku. Jace, what is Jin referring to? Jin. You're welcome, it's nothing important. Approaches Jin and they both move away from the others. What the hell is wrong with you? You said you wouldn't say anything. Jin. I'm not one of those people who keep secrets related to the art of music. Jace. What? You must be joking. In Musafatu, the students were in a museum themed around heroes of the past. Mineta. Awesome, smiling face. Denki. Professor Midnight in her teens, so sexy, starstruck thumbs up. Juro sticks her headphones in their faces. Juro. Duo of perverts. Saki turns around and sees a photograph of Gran Torino. Saki. Of course, I remember now, Gran Torino trained Izuku for a while, maybe he has some information. With Izuku, he and his friends continued talking to Jin. Jin. I'm truly sorry for the situation you're going through, Izuku. I hope you manage to find a cure. Izuku. I hope so, Jin. Jinx. Okay, to improve the situation we have, how about we do something fun? Like what? Jinx. Whoever dies last wins. Pulls a gun out of her pocket. Who's playing? Caitlin. Let's do something less lethal. A few minutes later, they were all in an area somewhat removed from the academy. Jin. What are we doing here? Jinx. Just watch and don't ask questions, you're just a filler character. Did they want Jin to be part of Izuku's team? Jinx. Start talking, Steel Sisters. Caitlin. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. Okay, let's have a target shooting competition. Whoever hits the bullseye the most times, wins. Jace. Sounds fun, I'll go first. Caitlin and Jace pull out two pretty important weapons. Izuku. Wow, not bad. Jace fascinated by his friend and partner's hammer. Jace. Thanks, it works with a hextech stone. It still has a couple of glitches, but it'll definitely work. Caitlin activates her rifle, and V gives her a good luck kiss. They both approach the firing zone, and some targets are activated. Caitlin is the first to shoot, and she hits most of the robots. Caitlin. Top that, Lord of Progress. Jace. You'll see, Sheriff of Piltover. Jace's hammer begins to generate bursts of light, and he approaches one of the large robots at high speed, delivering a powerful energy blast. Izuku. Wow, Orianna. Great, Jace really deserves the title of Lord of Progress. Echo. Cool. Caitlin simply rolls her eyes, and with a single bullet she hits 5 robots. Caitlin. Okay, let's get serious about this. In Musafatu, Saki was on the phone with Gran Torino. Call. Torino. Hello, what do you want, girl? Saki. Hello, great Torino, I wanted to talk to you about something very important. Torino. Okay, tell me. Saki. I wanted to know if you knew anything about what happened to Izuku. since I understand that he spoke with you before, well, you know. Torino. Well, now that you mention it, he told me that despite what happened, he would never stop fighting, but I think the fight was stronger than him. Saki. I don't think so, maybe Izuku left Musafatu. Torino. It's possible, maybe something else happened, I'd like to help you, but I don't think I can be of any use to you, we'll talk another day, girl. End of call. With Izuku, he and the others continued watching the great shootout that was taking place in front of them. Only one robot remained, and Caitlyn and Jace were tied. Caitlyn. Don't even think about it. Points at the robot. Jace gets ahead of him and runs straight to the robot. Caitlyn has the robot in her sights, and fires. Jace manages to deflect Caitlyn's bullet, and crushes the robot with his hammer. Caitlyn. Hey, that's cheating. Jace. You never said we couldn't deflect bullets. Caitlyn was quite annoyed, but just as she was about to speak, someone interrupted her. Not bad, Jace, I'm really impressed with your new invention. Everyone turns around, and Jace, seeing who it was, drops his hammer. Jace. Mel, I'm impressed by your new invention. Jace didn't know what to say, and his friends just watched how little confidence Jace had. Orianna. This is sad to see. Cold sweat smile. They call him the Lord of Progress, and he cannot progress in love. Jinx. Who does this remind me of? Thinking face. Jinx's memory. End of Jinx's memory. Caitlyn. He reminds you of Ezreal, doesn't he? Jinx. Get out of my mind, sister thief. A few minutes later, the group of friends were in the cafeteria, and Jace was staring into space. Izuku. Well, are you going to say something? Jace. What do you mean? Izuku. Please, Jace, it's clear you have feelings for that girl. Jace. Are you talking about Mel? Izuku. I never said his name, with a triumphant smile. Jace realizes that he gave himself away. Orianna. Not bad, Izuku. Caitlyn. Why am I not surprised? Drinking tea. Anyway, what do you see in that girl? Jace. Well, I really admire her, and she's part of the Academy's student council, and well. Jinx. She drives you crazy, smirk. Jace. Something like that. In Musafatu, Saki was in her room, with a whiteboard full of the clues she had collected. Saki. Well, so far, I've only compiled possible things that could have happened to Izuku, but none of them are specifically correct. At that moment, someone knocks on their door. Saki opens it, and sees her friend, Mei. Saki. Oh, hi Mei, is something wrong? Mei. Some of your friends say you started investigating Midoriya's death, but I think it was something more. Saki. I'm listening. Mei. Midoriya is in another universe. Saki. Mei. Yes, I went to his house, and using a device, I found traces of a very peculiar energy, and I came to the conclusion that Midoriya traveled to another universe. Saki didn't know what to say. It was something impossible, but at the same time something that perhaps happened. With Izuku, he and Jace were in their workshop, reviewing some blueprints for their next project. Izuku. I have my doubts about this, an arcane energy core. Jace. Oh, come on, when has anything ever stopped us? Izuku. Never. Jace. Exactly, we can do it, you just have to have faith, and I assure you, maybe this can cure you. Izuku. Are you serious? Jace. Yes, indeed. Izuku now had a big smile on his face, thinking that maybe he could be cured of the terrible disease caused by AFO's gift. In Musafatu, Saki and Mei were at Izuku's house, and Mei was using a device. The device starts to emit a sound, and the zeros change to a 10. Mei. Mira. Saki looks in the direction Mei is pointing, and sees bursts of energy coming from the ground. Mei. I didn't even know I could do that. Mai takes a piece of chalk out of her pocket and begins to draw a circle around where the discharges originate. Mei. Well, possibly, the anomaly originated in this area. Saki. Okay, Mei. And Izuku must have been absorbed by the anomaly. Saki. Okay, so how do we rescue him? Mei. We're going to create a machine to travel to the other universe. Saki. 3 months later. During the last few months, Izuku and Jace have been testing and improving the Hex core. Izuku. Okay, test 12, I'll try botany. Places a plant next to the core. Jace pulls a lever, and the core begins to generate flashes of energy, and these begin to cause accelerated growth in the plant, to the point that the core is enveloped in its roots. Izuku. Okay, it hasn't withered so far. At that moment, V and Caitlin enter the place. V. Hey guys, how are the tests going so far? Jace. The sample hasn't died yet. But at that moment, the plant withers. Jace turns around and sees what happened. Jace. God, at least I last longer than the others. Izuku turns around and sees what happened. Izuku now felt some resolve. V approaches Izuku and takes hold of his left shoulder. V. Don't worry, it'll surely work next time. In Musafatu, almost the entire Class 1A had helped with Saki and Mei's idea. Some weren't entirely sure that Mei's theory was true, but they decided to help with the idea. All the students were in a testing area, where the portal was located. Denki. Wow, it turned out amazing. Jiruo. You didn't do anything, we just needed you to charge our phones. Denki. Smiling face with tear. Mei activates the portal, and it begins to generate a small vortex. In an unknown location, someone is interfering in the multiverse. With Izuku, he was talking to Orianna, in the stands at the entrance of the academy. Orianna. I'm sorry your core won't work. Izuku. Don't worry, I didn't have to have that much hope in one of my inventions anyway. Orianna felt somewhat bad for Izuku, so she thought of something that could make him feel better. Orianna. What if we go to Piltover? Progress Day is coming up in a few days, it'll be a lot of fun. Izuku. Sure, I guess it would be good to get to know this world a little better. Orianna and Izuku were now happy, but just at that moment, the sky began to darken, and bursts of energy began to emerge from the ground. Orianna. What's happening? Izuku. I don't know, but this is dangerous. Izuku's friends leave the academy and see everything that was happening. Jinx. God, this looks cool. Echo. This is not cool at all. At that moment, an energy vortex begins to generate in front of them. In Musafatu, the students were about to enter the portal, but before they could do so, the portal began to malfunction, and a wave of energy pushed them all away from the portal. With Izuku, the vortex begins to release waves of energy, and everyone takes cover behind some foundations. Caitlin. Why does a portal open right in front of the school? V. I don't know, but it's best to take cover. The vortex begins to close, but just before it disappears, a beam of energy shoots out of it, heading towards Izuku and Orianna. Orianna pushes Izuku, and she takes the energy blast. Izuku. Orianna. The foundation was about to collapse on top of her, but V holds it up, and Caitlin pulls Orianna out of danger. Izuku quickly approaches her, and with great sadness in his heart, he sees how the first person who welcomed him into this amazing world was hurt, and badly hurt. A few days later, Izuku was looking at the hex core, while wearing a serious expression. At that moment, Jace enters the workshop, somewhat uneasy. Izuku turns around and sees Jace. Izuku. Pasa algo Jace. Jace. It's about Orianna. Izuku and Jace were heading to the infirmary. Izuku. They said he was stable. Jace. That's right, or rather, that's how it was. This morning he started having seizures, and bruises started appearing on his body. Izuku. This is very bad. The two friends enter Orianna's room, and they would see the girl with several bandages, and connected to some machines. Izuku approaches her, and Orianna opens her eyes. Orianna. Izuku with a smile. Izuku was somewhat hurt to see his friend's worrying state. Izuku. I promise you, you'll be okay, I'll fix you, I swear, I'll find a way. Orianna. Don't worry, I'll be fine. You should worry about your condition, I'll be fine. Trying not to worry the boy. Izuku nods with a small tear in his eye, and takes Orianna's hand. Jace. Hey, Izuku, we can't stay too long. Izuku. Okay, I'll come see you later, Orianna. Orianna. Very well, I'll wait for you. Izuku walks away from Orianna, and he and Jace leave the room. Jace. What do you mean by fix? Izuku. Do you remember the hex core? Jace. Yeah, what do you have planned? Izuku. It will serve as a battery. Jace. Bateria. A few minutes later, Jace and Izuku's friends were with the duo in the lab. So, what are you planning, guys? V couldn't finish, as Jinx climbed on top of her. Jinx. You missed us, didn't you? V. Get off me. She throws her off, and throws her at Jin. What's your damn problem? Jinx. Someone had to explain why it took us so long. Stop touching me, you cheap musician. Jin. Excuse me. Offended, I'm one of the most talented musicians in Runeterra. Jinx. Yes, whatever you say. Izuku. I won't ask about your interesting post, but I'm going to need everyone's help. Echo. Help with what, exactly? Izuku. Orianna's condition is worsening, and I want to be able to help her heal, and for that, I plan to use the Hex Core. Caitlin. You've seen what it does to plants, who knows what effect it will have on humans. Jinx. You better shut up, sister thief. I know how to fix that little programming error. Jace. What do you have in mind, Jinx? V. They must be joking. Izuku. Jinx is quite clever, despite her madness. Jinx. Yes, listen to Nash from Arcane. Izuku. What is a Nash? Jinx. You'd better watch the Arrowverse series to understand. V. Powder, you'd better go get some sleep. Izuku. No, wait, you said you knew how to help, right? Jinx. Yeah, well, you use the Hex Core as a power source, maybe if you use it as an energy conductor, it could work. Izuku. The Hex Core is an unstable artificial rune. Its power is too much to control, but if it's used as a conductor to pass energy, it could be useful. Jace. Yes, but how do we do it? Jinx. I have the solution. Jinx pulls a bottle of glitter out of her pocket. Izuku. No, I won't let you give that to Orianna. Jinx. What a fool, I won't give it to him. I'll modify it to make it an anesthetic, while I put on some prosthetics. What do you say? Jace. Prosthetics, are you going to amputate any of his limbs? Jinx. What? No, of course not. I'm going to help them modify their bodies to make them compatible with prosthetics. Izuku. You're crazy, but at least you're somewhat useful with your insane intelligence. Jinx. Obvious. V approaches Izuku. V. You don't have to do this, maybe you have another option to help Orianna. Besides, turns to look at Jinx. Even though Powder is my little sister, she's a little crazy. Izuku. Maybe, but we don't have many options right now. A few minutes later, Izuku was reading the instructions Jinx gave him. Izuku. Heavy sigh, I hope I don't die from following this advice. Izuku takes out several bottles of glitter and pours them, along with some chemicals, into a device. Following that, Izuku would take some of the formula with a needle, and inject himself with some of it. Izuku takes a voice recorder and turns it on. Izuku. If the idea Jinx gave me can help Orianna, it could be very useful, but first it must be tested so that it doesn't harm or worsen Orianna's condition, and for that, a test subject is needed, and since my terminal illness is almost consuming me completely, I've decided to be the test subject for this new experiment. Izuku stops recording and sets the voice recorder aside on his desk. Izuku rolls up his sleeves and approaches the core. Izuku takes a razor blade and cuts the palm of his hand. Izuku. Okay, you better work this time. Izuku places his bloodied hand on the core, and it begins to generate bursts of purple energy. With V, she and Caitlin were training at the gym. Caitlin. V, what are you training for? V. You'll see, you'll find out tonight. At that very moment, a purple glow would appear in a window of the building opposite. Caitlin, noticing this, would realize that the glow was coming from Izuku's lab. Caitlin. V, put that down and come with me. V. Yes, one moment, does one last repetition, okay, let's go. Both girls leave the gym and enter the other building. They both walk through the corridors and enter the laboratory, only to see Izuku lying on the floor, and the hex core releasing bursts of purple energy. V approaches Izuku and drags him out of the laboratory. I saw him place it against a wall. V. Izuku, come on, friends, wake up. Caitlin. V. Mira. I looked down and was shocked by what I saw. Holy heavens. We find ourselves at the UA Hero Academy. The students in Class 1A were quite demotivated by the major flaw in the invention. Mina. That was a huge disaster. Saki. Yes, but at least we have an idea of where Izuku might be. Everyone views Saki with some doubt. Momo. Saki, have you considered that maybe Izuku is, well, dead? Saki. Momo, I know I might be getting obsessed with all this, but I'm more than sure that Izuku is still alive. With Izuku, he wakes up in his room, and when he looks up, he sees Jinx watching him from the ceiling. Jinx. Good day, zombie. Izuku quickly stands up, and sees that Jin was also in his room. Jin. Good day, friend, checking one of his dancing grenades. Wow, whatever you did, it healed you a bit, you don't need your staff anymore. When Izuku realized this, he would be somewhat surprised. Jinx. I'm a genius, I gave you a superpower, and a cure, or well, more or less a cure, because I doubt that leg and hand are normal. Izuku looks at his hand, and indeed, it now had metallic features with purple, and a light was emitted from inside the limbs. Izuku. Who else knows about this? Jinx. Apart from us, my little sister, and her dog. Jin. It's obvious you like Caitlyn. Jinx. Yes, that's right, smile with horns. Izuku takes a jacket from his closet and puts it on, followed by some gloves, to hide his new physical appearance. Izuku. Not a word of this, and especially not to Orianna. Jin. Count on me. Jinx. I promise nothing. A few minutes later, Jin was leaning against a tree, and at that moment, he would hear melodious music. Jin stands up and begins to search for where that wonderful ballad came from. Jin leaves the Legends Academy campus and walks through the streets of Piltover. I would arrive at the Plaza of Progress, and I would see a girl with pink hair playing a violin. At that moment, some security guards arrive at the scene. Security guard 1. You'd better get out of here, brat. Pink-haired girl. But I'm not doing anything wrong. Vigilante 2. Creating street performances is prohibited here in Piltover. Also, I think I recognized you. Your mother would be very disappointed in you if she found out what her daughter is doing. The pink-haired girl was now quite nervous because of the man's words. Pink-haired girl. Please don't tell him, I'll leave right away. Jin, noticing this, decided to intervene. Jin pulls out one of his dancing grenades and throws it backward, unaware of the target of his explosive. A loud explosion is heard, and the security guards go to investigate what happened. Jin approaches the girl and takes her hand. Jin, accompany me. They both leave the place, and are out of the watchman's sight. They both enter an alley. Jin, well, I think they're not following us anymore. Pink-haired girl. Who are you, and why did you help me? Jin. Nice to meet you, I'm Jin, the best musician around here. Pink-haired girl. Nice to meet you, Jin, my name is Seraphine, and believe me when I say, I am destined for greatness. Jin. MMMH, I think I've heard that before. Anyway, changing the subject, why did those guards mention your mother? Seraphine. Well, it's complicated, but my mother is the head of spies for the Pharaoh's clan. Jin. Wait, is your mother? Memories of Jin. End of Jin's memories. Seraphine. Yes, my mother is Camille Pharaoh's. Jin. Mind, now I'm really dead. With Izuku. He was testing out his new limbs. Izuku punches a punching bag with his new hand, and breaks it in half. Izuku. Wow, looking at his new fist. V. You owe me a new punching bag. Caitlyn. How do you feel about your new limbs? Izuku. It feels good, although I also feel a strange sensation, like something is missing. V. Perhaps the powder experiment didn't work out quite right for you. Izuku. No, I think maybe the experiment is incomplete. Caitlyn. MMH, it's likely, although I still have my doubts about this. At that moment, someone enters the gym, and Izuku quickly puts on his jacket and gloves. When they turned around, everyone would see Orianna in a wheelchair. Orianna. Hi guys, what are you doing? V. What the hell are you doing here? Somewhat surprised. Orianna. Is this a bad time? Somewhat embarrassed. Caitlyn. V. Be more careful with what you say. Izuku. It's not a bad time, it's just, why aren't you in your room? You're still a little weak. Orianna. Well, I was getting a bit bored, and I thought I'd go out for a bit to get some fresh air. V. And why the wheelchair? Orianna. Well, this morning when I tried to get up, I couldn't feel my legs, and well, here I am. Caitlin, thinking, God, she's so innocent she doesn't even realize she's paralyzed from the waist down. Jin's son. He was sitting on a bench on the bridge between Zon and Piltover, lamenting his fate. John. Why is this happening to me? Why does the coolest and prettiest girl I've ever met have to be the daughter of the cruelest and most terrifying woman in all of Runeterra? At that very moment, he would hear someone approaching, and instinctively, he would draw his weapon. Upon closer inspection of the person, he would realize that it was Seraphine. Seraphine. Calm down, Jin, it's me. Jin. I'm sorry, I thought you were someone else. Seraphine. Oh yeah, and that someone else, is that someone dangerous? Jin. Let's just say I have my differences with that other person, puts away his weapon although. Seraphine. She's my mom, right? Jin. How did you? Seraphine. Everyone I've met always distances themselves from me when they find out who my mother is. I understand if you don't want to be near me anymore, although I actually like you quite a bit, slightly frowning face. Jin initially hesitated, but then swallowed his fear and his thoughts of wanting to leave. Jin. No, I want to get to know you better. Seraphine is surprised by Jin's words. Seraphine. Are you serious? What about my mother? She'll surely hang your head on the wall. Jin. I don't mind, I'd like to be your friend. Seraphine was moved by Jin's words, and she rushed towards him to hug him. Seraphine. Thank you, Jin open mouth smile. Jin. You're welcome, friend. 1 week later, Jin was talking to Izuku, who was reviewing his notes on the hex core. Jin. Have you ever been in love, Izuku? Playing his violin. Izuku. I think I have felt something for someone, but I've never really gone deep into it without taking his eyes off his notes. Jin. Well, I'm in love, man. Izuku. Good for you. Jin. Yes, but I doubt I can get anywhere with her. Izuku. Why do you say that? Jin. She's Camille Ferros's daughter. That woman is a member of one of the most important families in Piltover, and besides, I'm on her wanted criminals list. Izuku. What the hell did you do to get on his list? Jin. Well, I snuck into an abandoned theater that was going to be demolished, and knowing that sooner or later they would come for me to arrest me for trespassing, I set several traps, and one thing led to another, and I became a real headache for Camille. Izuku. You really are a musical box full of surprises. Jin. What can I say? An artist of my caliber should always put on a good show. Izuku. It wasn't a compliment. Jin. Oh, well, can you help? Deadpan face. Izuku. No, my priority now is Orianna, you better go ask Jinx, or Mel. Jin. Fine, whatever, leaves. A few minutes later, Izuku was in Orianna's room. Orianna. How was your day? Izuku. Pretty good, we all missed you a lot, you're the joy of the group. Also, Jin got into some trouble apparently, I didn't really pay much attention to it. Orianna. I see, and what about your illness, how are you feeling? Izuku. I haven't paid much attention to it, but I haven't felt any significant improvement. Orianna. Izuku, please try to focus on yourself, I don't want you to continue suffering, it hurts me a lot to see you like this. Orianna takes Izuku's hand, and the arcane boy would see a clear concern in Orianna's eyes. Jinx. She was in her hiding place, listening to music at full volume, while letting her imagination run wild. Jinx's imagination. Jinx's imagination ends. At that moment, Jin enters the hideout, and is met with several gunshots. Jin takes cover behind a sofa full of stuffed animals, and loads 4 bullets into his gun. Jinx. Whoever you are, you'd better show your face, so I can kill you. Jin emerges from his hiding place, and Jinx lowers her machine gun. Jinx. What the hell are you doing here? Jin. I need your help. Jinx. My help? Are you stupid or what? Jin. I'm desperate, I want someone to help me. Jinx. Okay, tell me what you want. Jin. I fell in love and. Jin couldn't finish, because Jinx tied a balloon to him, and he flew away. Jinx. Don't drag me into your love bullshit, asshole. A few minutes later, Jin was now outside the school council room, and at that moment, Mel would approach him. Mel. Hi Jin, I heard you need my help, how can I help you? Jin. Well, I fell in love with a girl, but she's from the Pharaoh's family, and well, I think you know what that means. Mel. Oh, I'm really sorry, Jin. I'd love to help, but in this case, my hands are tied, since it involves the Pharaoh's family, and well, I guess you'll have to figure this out on your own. Jin. Phew. Mel. But if I'm honest, I also have problems in the realm of love. You see, I'm in love with Jace, but I don't know how to express my love to him. Upon hearing that, Jin would roll his eyes. Jin. Don't make things up. Mel. I wouldn't lie about something like this. I'm deeply in love with Jace, but unfortunately a girl like me wouldn't be able to be with someone as cool and amazing as him. Jin. Mind, they must be pulling my leg. Jace. He and Echo were checking the group's weapons, and they would realize something. Echo. Hey, Jace, come see this. Jace say acerca Echo. Echo. Is it normal for Hextech criminals to do this? Hands one over. Jace examines him, and sees that he was gradually losing his energy. Jace. No, this shouldn't be happening, something is wrong with the power core. Echo. Wait, did you say energy core? Jace. Yes, that's right. Picks up his hammer. Take your skateboard, we'll take a trip to the Piltover Council. Jace goes out the door, and Echo follows him with his skateboard in hand. Echo. Join the Piltover Council. And here I thought Powder was the crazy one in the group. Jace. We just need to verify what fault is occurring, that's all. Echo. Well, you'd better hope nothing unexpected happens. A few minutes later, both were in the Piltover Council building. Echo. Wow, I heard that the only person from Zon who has been able to enter here was V. Jace. Yes, it was a special occasion. They both enter an elevator. Jace. I suggest you hold on to something. Echo. Why? Jace. You'll see. Jace takes out a key and places it in a slot. Jace turns it over, and then presses a button. The elevator plummets down, and Echo hugs Jace tightly. Jace, meanwhile, simply looks at his phone while they wait to reach their destination. The elevator stops, and the doors open. Echo. What the hell was that? Fearful. Jace. Nothing. He exits the elevator, followed by Echo. They both walk down a long corridor, until they reach some enormous doors. Echo. And now, Jace opens the doors, and what he sees leaves him breathless. Jace. It can't be. With Izuku, he and Orianna were resting against a tree, while talking about various things. Orianna. You know, besides my father, you are the person who has taken the most care of me all this time. Izuku. Really? Orianna. Well, my father was worried that someone might want to hurt me, so he didn't let me go out much, but you care about my well-being, and that I managed to recover. Izuku. Well, I consider you someone very important in my life, slightly blushing. Jace. He and Echo were faced with something that not even their brilliant minds could decipher. Just remove Heimerdinger. Echo. Is this the core? Jace. No, the core is gone, but what is this? Jace approaches whatever that sphere is, and upon making contact with it, a burst of energy bursts out, disrupting the Hextech weapons. With V, she and Caitlyn were training, but their weapons would start acting strangely. Caitlyn would try to check her rifle, but a bullet would shoot out of it, and Rosarina would hit her cheek. Caitlyn. V tried to help his girlfriend, but his gauntlets prevented him from moving from where he was. Jin's son. He was now talking to Seraphine. Stephanie. Well, what did you want to tell me, Jin? Jin. Well, I know we've become very good friends, and I appreciate you a lot, but I have something very important to tell you. Seraphine. Go ahead, you can tell me whatever you want. Jin. Seraphine. Yo, Taeyam. Jin couldn't finish, as his gun went off by itself, and one of the bullets pierced his foot. Jin falls to the ground, and Seraphine tries to help him. Jin. Damn it, trying to get up. Seraphine helps him up, and Jin throws his gun into a trash can before it can fire again. Seraphine. I'll take you to the hospital. Jin. No, take me to the Legends Academy, my friends will help me. With Izuku, he and Orianna continued talking, but at that moment, a huge earthquake shook everything. Orianna. What was that? At that moment, some of the campus towers begin to explode, and several foundations begin to collapse. Izuku picks up Orianna and tries to carry her to safety, but another explanation shakes everything, and several pieces of debris fall on them both. Con Jace Y Echo. The sphere explodes, and spreads like a spider web everywhere, accompanied by several energy shocks. One of the collisions hits Echo directly, and he begins to disappear. Echo. Jace. Jace. Echo runs towards him. Before Jace could take Echo's hand, he would disappear. As Jace watched his friend disappear before his eyes, a great anger formed within him, and with his hammer in hand, he struck the energy sphere with a powerful blow. Jace and the sphere disappear, and in their place, the energy core appears in the room. Jin's son. He arrives at the academy with Seraphine's help, but what he sees leaves him breathless. The entire academy was in ruins, with large fires burning everywhere. Jin. God, this is too bad. 2 weeks later, everything was pain and sadness. Some of the students from Legends Academy had to return to their respective regions of Runeterra, but those who stayed wanted to rebuild their second home. We are located in an apartment in the city of Piltover. In that place were V, Caitlin, Jinx, Jin, and Seraphine. At that moment, someone knocks on the door, and V gets up from her seat. V opens the door, and it turns out to be Mel. I saw. You're late, let her pass. Mel. I'm sorry, the school council needed me. Jinx. Put your duty before your loved ones, like mother, like daughter, right? Sitting on a ceiling beam. Mel would get angry at what Jinx said. V. No fighting here, we have to find a way to help Izuku and Orianna. Jin. We could modify the rest of Izuku's body, you know, like his leg and hand were changed by the core, maybe the rest of his body can be too. Seraphine. Is that possible? V. Listen, little girl, when you're near us, anything is possible, but right now I doubt we can use that card to our advantage. Jin. What do you mean? V. Izuku used a formula to modify the shine, and without the shine, chemicals, the core, and the research he used, we can't do anything. Caitlin. Maybe we can do it, we just need to get those 4 things, and that's it. V. Well, maybe it's a bit risky, but I like taking risks. Jinx. In fights, and in bed, every night I hear the springs of their beds creaking, it's like they're jumping, but obviously they're not. Jin. Seraphine. Deadpan face. Caitlin. We'll split into 2 groups, one will get the core and the research, and the other the glow and the chemicals. Everyone nods. Caitlin. Okay, time to work. A few hours later, Jin, Mel, and Seraphine were at the Legends Academy, which was under reconstruction. Jin. Okay, if my memory serves me right, the labs were located around here, walks to the right. They all arrive at a somewhat damaged building, and enter it. Mel would seem somewhat depressed. Seraphine. Excuse me, I don't know Jin's group of friends very well, could you explain a little about Izuku and Orianna? Mel. They are very good people, both of them put the well-being of others before their own. They are from administration, with a big smile, but to be honest, I miss Izuku's partner the most, he is someone unique and magnificent to me. Jin. Yes, now that you mention it, I haven't heard from Jason Echo for a couple of days, I wonder what happened to them. The 3 enter what remains of Izuku's laboratory, and they would see the hex core floating in the middle of the room. Mel. You guys collect the research, I'll take the hex core. Jin. Don't you think it's too easy? Mel. Not everything is senseless danger, Jin. Jin. What do you say? Mel unamused. With V. She, Caitlin, and Jinx were in the underground city, also known as Zon. V inhales and exhales with a smile. V. How I missed the smell of toxicity in the air, it's great. Jinx puts on a hood and walks away from them. Caitlin. Where do you think you're going? Jinx. Unfinished business, cheap cop, leaves. V. Leave her alone, she knows she has to come back to us anyway. Both venture into the city, and would enter at the last drop. V. Well, Singed's lab might be the best option for getting the shine and the chemicals, 2 birds with 1 stone, what do you think? Takes a drink from the bar. Caitlin. Tempting, but there's probably a lot of security there. The Piltover watchmen keep it pretty secure, ever since, you know. V. Yes, I know, but it seems like the best option to me. With Mel, she and the duo of musicians were heading to V's apartment, but at that moment, the core would begin to generate some energy. Mel. MMMH. The core shoots out into the sky, and would head at full speed towards the center of Piltover. Jin. Well, at least it's going where we want it to. The three of them run after the core. Jinx. She was walking through the streets of Zon, and she would see all the evil that was happening in the streets. Jinx. I'm sure this landfill would look much better in another universe. At that moment, Jinx hears something above her. When she looks up, something falls on her. Jinx sat down, and she would see that it was a little girl. Jinx looks up, and sees some subjects with numbers on their foreheads. The subjects get out and surround Jinx. One of them approaches them, and is surprised to see Jinx. Jinx. What, do I have something on my face? Jinx pulls out a gun and shoots them all, killing them instantly. Jinx now points her gun at the girl. Jinx. So, what the hell did you do to the male chemists to make them come after you? Speak up. The little girl was now trembling with fear. Jinx would notice that, and she would put away her weapon. Jinx. Well, I think you're just a poor, naive girl who didn't know what she was getting into. Stands up. You can come with me if you want. Jinx leaves the place, and the girl follows her at a distance. With V, she and Caitlin were heading to Singed's lab. V. Ready for action, Cupcake. Caitlin. Sigh, let's do this. Both enter the laboratory, and with great stealth, walk through the corridors. They both enter a room and see several display cases filled with glitter and chemicals. I saw. The heaven of fucking drug addicts anguished. Caitlin. Grab some jars, I'll find the chemicals we need. Caitlin approaches a display case, checks some jars, and finds the ones she's looking for. At that moment, footsteps are heard, and both hide behind a door. Someone enters the place, and they would see that it was Singed. Singed sits on a bench, and takes a necklace out of his pocket. Singed. I hope you are well, my dear girl. Caitlin would adjust her vision better, and realize that there was a photograph on the necklace. Caitlin. It can't be. Fearful. V. What's wrong? Caitlin. It's Orianna, the girl with the necklace. It's Orianna. I saw. What? Caitlin. It's crazy, but better one problem at a time. We have to take this on with Izuku. They both leave the building, but end up running into Jinx and the little girl. V. Powder sees the girl. Who is she? Jinx. The newest member of the team, picks her up. The little girl smiles. Caitlin. And what's her name? Face with raised eyebrow. Jinx. I don't know what to name it yet, but I'm still thinking about it. V. Hey, you can't keep a girl. Jinx. I'm not going to leave her here, the male chemists are looking for her. Upon hearing that, the couple would be surprised. Caitlin. Okay, she can stay with us, but only for a few days, until we figure out what to do with her, okay? Jinx. Did you hear that, little one? You have a family now. The girl smiles with joy. A few minutes later, the quarterfinals return to Piltover, and would end up clashing with Mel, Jin, and Seraphine. V. Ouch, rubbing his head. Where's the core? Mel points upwards, and they see the core break through the window of the V apartment. I saw. It was new, slightly frowning face. Caitlin. I'll buy you another one later. Enters the building. They all follow Caitlin inside the building, and upon entering V's apartment, they would see that it was badly damaged. V. Izuku, better hope this isn't for nothing. Look of triumph. The core destroys a wall and enters one of the rooms. Everyone enters the room, and they would see the core on top of a bed, on which lay an unconscious Izuku covered in bandages. Seraphine. They had it hidden here all this time. V. We didn't have many options, besides, I'd be safer here. Caitlin takes the glitter and the chemicals. Caitlin. Jin, give me the investigation papers. Everyone else, bring medical equipment. Everyone obeys, and they go in search of the team. A few minutes later, Caitlin was injecting a large dose of the modified glow into Izuku. V. Isn't that too much? Caitlin. Relax, I know what I'm doing. At that moment, the core approaches Izuku, and it begins to merge with him. Everything starts to shake, and everyone leaves the building. I think you gave it too much shine. At that moment, a purple glow would emanate from the building. Everyone approaches the building, and they are surprised to see who comes out of it. Izuku. What day is it? Everyone was speechless upon seeing Izuku in his new form. Jin would be the first to approach Izuku. Jin. Hey, buddy, are you feeling okay? Izuku. Yes, I think so. Looking at his hand, I feel good, but at the same time, different. Jinx. Am I the only one who knows we're seeing him naked? The girl covers her eyes. V throws him a blanket, and Izuku covers himself with it. Izuku. Hey, what about Orianna? Caitlin. Join us. A few minutes later, they were all at Caitlin's house. Caitlin. My parents are on vacation, so we can spend the night here. V. I remember the first time I came to your house. This memory. End of this memory. They all enter a room, and they would see a capsule in the middle of it. Izuku approaches the capsule, and he sees Orianna inside. Izuku places his hand on the capsule, and sheds a tear. Izuku. I'm sorry, my dear Orianna, I couldn't protect you, I failed you. At that moment, a purple energy would come out of Izuku's hand, and some mechanical parts in the room would begin to generate the same energy. The capsule opens, and it disassembles. Everyone backs away, but Izuku begins to generate more and more energy. Orianna's inert body begins to levitate, and her body begins to merge with the technology. Orianna opens her eyes, and they will shine with an intense and dazzling blue. Fearful face. Jinx. I think I got food poisoning again. Izuku falls to his knees, and Orianna is left levitating in the air. Orianna approaches Izuku, and is surprised by his new appearance. Izuku. Hola, Orianna. Orianna helps Izuku to his feet, and hugs him. Orianna. I'm sorry about all this, Izuku. It's my fault we ended up like this. Izuku. No, it's not your fault, it's just mine. Actually, it's not either of our faults. The hex deck suffered a core failure, and it caused a chain reaction with all the crystals. Caitlin. That's possibly connected to Jason Echo's disappearance. Orianna approaches a mirror, and is impressed with her new appearance. Orianna. I look like the doll in my music box, slightly smiling face. Elsewhere, we feel ourselves at the core of energy, in which, once again, the sphere of energy makes its presence felt, and from this, someone quite battered would emerge. The sphere disappears, leaving the mysterious subject behind. The subject stands up, and it is revealed that it was Jace. Jace leaves the place, and a clear concern would be noticeable on his face. With Izuku, he and Orianna were talking while having some tea. Orianna. You know, I like your new look, you look more imposing and brave, well, more than you already looked. Izuku. Yes, you look quite pretty to be honest, although ever since I met you, you've always been beautiful. Izuku places his hand on Orianna's shoulder. Orianna takes Izuku's hand, but she feels something strange. Orianna. Izuku, since when do you only have 3 fingers? Izuku. What? Izuku stands up, and they are both surprised by what they see. Izuku. What the hell? Izuku would try to remove that claw, but he would notice that it was attached to his back. Izuku. Perfect sarcasm. Orianna floats toward the claw, and she would see rune symbols on it. Orianna. They resemble the symbols of the hex core. Caitlin enters the living room, and drops a tray of cupcakes upon seeing Izuku and his new arm. Caitlin. What the hell happened to you? Izuku. I have no idea what or how this happened to me. Izuku would try to move his new arm again, but a powerful beam of energy would come out of it, and burn the photograph of Caitlin's family. Sorry for the poor quality. Caitlin takes the painting and puts out the fire, but unfortunately she could not save the photograph of her parents and herself as a child. Caitlin. I hope you die, smiling face with tear. Izuku hides behind Orianna. At that moment, someone knocks on the door, and Jinx opens it, only to see that it was Jace. Jace. Hola, Jinx. Jinx is left speechless. Jinx. It's impossible. Jace. Do you think so? Jinx. It can't be. Jace. Can't he? Jinx. I'm Jace. Astos. Mel approaches the door, and is surprised to see Jace. Mel. Jace. Face holding back tears. Jace. Even more handsome in person. Mel throws herself into his arms and kisses him passionately. Everyone approaches the door, and they are surprised to see Jace. Jace and Mel break apart from the kiss, and walk away from each other. Izuku approaches his friend. Izuku. Jace, I thought that. Jace approaches Izuku and hugs him tightly. Izuku. Yeah, I missed you too, buddy. Pats him on the back. Jace. I owe you my life, looks him in the eyes. Jinx. I don't know what's going on, but it seems to me he wants to strengthen the friendship. Don't look, kid covers her eyes. Izuku. Jace, you're scaring me. Jace. Okay, maybe it sounds crazy, but I traveled through time, straight to the future. V. What, are you serious? Jace. Yes, and it's chaos. All of Runeterra was destroyed, and no one had survived except you, Izuku. Izuku. What? In shock. Jace. You had perfected your powers with the runes, managing to open a breach in time, and thus be able to send me back to the past, in order to prevent this war that is about to come. Everyone was beyond shocked by what Jace said. Jinx. Hey, and Echo, wasn't he with you? Jace. No, maybe he's somewhere in time, or maybe he's dead over there. Jinx now looked angry, and left the place. The little girl follows her, accompanied by V. Jace. And who is that girl? Caitlin. You've missed out on a lot. Jinx. She enters a room and sits on a bed. The girl and V enter the room and approach her. Powder. Jinx. Is Echo dead? Sadly, I didn't know what to answer. Jinx. He always told me that we have to treasure every moment, because you never know when our time will run out crying. The little girl approaches Jinx and hugs her. I also saw him approach them and hug them. Jinx. V, can you do something for me? V. Ask me for whatever you want. A few minutes later, V was cutting Jinx's hair. V. Okay, what do you think? Hands her a mirror. Jinx looks in the mirror, and is surprised by what she sees. Jinx. I love it. That same night, everyone was in the dining room, and they couldn't stop staring at Jinx's new style. Jinx. What, Izuku? What the hell did you do to yourself? Using his new arm to drink from it. Jinx. Don't they like it? Orianna. Yes, only, it's not your usual style. Jinx. I thought about trying a new style. V. To be honest, it looks great on me. Caitlin. Okay, I think it's time to talk about what's important here, Jace. Can you give us some information about the upcoming war? Jace. It's possible all of Runeterra will be attacked, and these people could be part of the enemy army. Jace would take something out of his pocket, and everyone would see what it was. Izuku. They're provisional hero licenses, young heroes use them in my world. Jin. Do they use pieces of paper to be heroes? That's weird, although it would be cool to have a business card that says I'm a legend. Izuku takes Bakugo's license and stares at it intently. Izuku. That was to be expected, throws the license on the table. Do we have a plan? I saw. Step 1. Get all the help and weapons we can. Jin. I'm sure our friends from Legends Academy will want revenge on these people. Orianna. Hey, wait, first we should know if these people are the ones who will attack our home. Jace. I assure you, Orianna, they were there. I found weapons and corpses that do not belong to our world. Izuku. Heavy sigh. I never thought that those who were once my friends would attack my home. Jin was thinking about how to help in the war, but Seraphine would take him out of the room. Jin. Seraphine, te pasa algo. Seraphine says nothing, and places her hand on the wall, right next to Jin's head. Jin. Flushed. Seraphine. I promise I will always protect you. Seraphine approaches Jin and gives him a big kiss on the cheek. A few hours later, Caitlin and V could be seen at Legends Academy, along with several students. Ari. What are we doing here? We still have a lot to rebuild. Caitlin. I know, but we need your help. Auction. Our help. I thought your group of friends could do the impossible. V. Yes, but this is beyond us, all of us separately, that's why we have to unite, all of us, a war is coming, and we have to defend our home. Garen. A warrior, what the hell are you talking about? All regions are at peace, Noxus, Demacia, even the Shadow Isles and the Void. Caitlin. Our enemies are not from Runeterra, they are from an alternate universe. Kaisa. K. Ridiculo. Everyone would look at her with a face that said, "Are you serious?" Kaisa. Okay, maybe Caitlin is right. V. Okay, so what do you say, do you want to help us? They would all see each other, and they knew this was too important. Garen. Okay, you can count on our help, we'll be ready whenever you ask us. Caitlin. Okay, everyone better start getting ready. In Musafatu, some men in strange suits could be seen in an office. 13. Did the portal test work? All might. Pretty good. The reconnaissance team arrived at what appeared to be a bunker filled with crystals that emanated a great energy. Aizawa. We could use the portal the students built again to get more of those materials. Support agencies would surely pay a lot of money to have those items in their possession. Nezu. Good, but we'll probably need a pretty skilled team for this mission. Midnight. How are classes 1A and 1B? Nezu. Maybe, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Midnight. The students have already demonstrated great feats, they will surely be able to handle this, they would just need some equipment and support tools to help them. Nezu. Okay, who's in favor of this request? Everyone raises their hand. Nezu. Okay, so be it. With Izuku. He was looking for some clothes to wear. At that moment, Mel enters the room. Mel. Are you feeling okay? Izuku. Yes, I'm fine. Finds blue pants. Mel. I just want to know if you feel ready for battle. Since I was little, my mother only showed me the art of war and conquest, but when she sent me to Piltover, I was able to learn about kindness and people's values. Izuku. I'm truly sorry to hear that. Mel puts on his pants and cloak, but there's something else you learn in war. Mel. What? Izuku. If you protect your classmates, they will protect you. Imagine he has his third arm. In Musafatu, both groups of students were at a base of the Heroes Public Safety Commission, where the portal that the students built was located. Aizawa approaches them. Aizawa. All right, listen up. You've been chosen for this important mission. You've been given special equipment to help you fulfill your duty. The mission is quite simple. You must collect as many energy spheres as you can, shows a hextech stone, and if anything or anyone gets in your way, destroy or arrest them. Is that clear, everyone? Yes. The portal is activated, and the students enter it. With Izuku, they were all in what looked like a battlefield. Jinx. Are you sure this is where the portal will appear? Jace. The Summoner's Rift is one of the places with the highest concentration of magic. Izuku and I managed to create a vortex of it and thus concentrate all the magic possible here. V. In Spanish, please. Jace. The portal will definitely be generated here. Caitlin. Okay, I'll tell everyone to prepare for battle. She leaves the area. Jace. Okay, we'd better have our weapons ready. He picks up his hammer. At that moment, Izuku feels a sensation run through his entire body. Izuku. They're here. Jinx. Seriously. Fine. Time to smash their faces in. Grabs her weapons. Izuku. Wait, I'll go first. I have something to take care of with them. Jace. Okay, but if something happens, give us the signal so we know when to attack. Izuku. Entendido. Izuku enters the battlefield, and an energy begins to envelop his face, slowly transforming into a mask. A portal opened in front of him, and the students emerged from it, unable to see anything due to the extensive fog. Saki. Can anyone see anything? Bakugo throws an explosion at the ground, but it was useless. Bakugo. Damn it, see. At that moment, everyone would see a light, and they would run quickly towards it, only to find Izuku there. Izuku. It's been a while. Everyone is on guard, but Saki would feel a great pressure inside. Iida. On behalf of the Heroes Public Safety Commission, we demand that you tell us who you are. Izuku. Don't you recognize me? Izuku takes off his mask, and everyone would be shocked to see his face. Momo. M. Midoriya, Kirishima. Izubro. Izuku. More or less, I've evolved. With the help of my friends, I was able to achieve my true self, and I won't allow you to destroy Runeterra. Bakugo. I don't care if you're a god or not, you're still the same useless Deku you always were, generating explosions, you better step aside, trash. Izuku puts on his mask, and strikes the ground with his staff, and all the fog dissipates, revealing the great army of Runeterra. Izuku. Let me introduce you to my friends. With Izuku's classmates. Jinx. This is going to be awesome, loading her weapons. Jin. Do you know how much I've waited for this opportunity? Phew. Finally they're going to remember me for something important. He puts on his mask. Jace steps forward and raises his hammer. Jace. For Runeterra. War cry. All. For Runeterra. Everyone rushes to the battle, and the students would get into battle position. Iida. You're a damn traitor, looking at Izuku. Izuku. I didn't betray them, I just found my true friends. Izuku would get into a fighting stance, and the students would rush at him. It was a total war, two sides, heroes against legends. Bakugo unleashes a powerful explosion, but Riven dodges it and then delivers a powerful blow with her sword. With Mineta, he was hiding in a cave, waiting for the danger to pass. Mineta. How foolish, when they're finished, I'll be the last one standing, leaning against a wall. I don't think so. Dwarf lies down next to him. As he looks away, he would see a woman by his side. Samira. When I'm done with you, you won't be able to walk anymore. Minutes. With Izuku, he and Orianna were fighting side by side, while protecting each other. Izuku. You know, I have a gift for you. Orianna. How kind. At that moment, something strikes the enemies, and Orianna, seeing what it was, is surprised to find that it saved them. Orianna. Woo. Mina would try to attack them, but the robotic sphere would generate a force field that protects them both. Izuku fires his energy beam from his third arm, sending Mina crashing into some rocks. Jace. He was fighting against Kendo and Tetsu, and it was clear that he was having some trouble with these two. Kendo, with a powerful punch, leaves Jace on the ground and disarmed. Tetsu was about to deliver the final blow, but an energy shield stopped his attack. Jace turns around, and sees Mel wearing a new suit, with golden energy emanating from his hands. Jace. Mel. Anguished. Mel's skin changes to a purple color, and her hair lights up. Mel's hand generates a strong glow, and launches a powerful beam at the students. Mel approaches Jace and extends her hand. Mel. Are you okay, Jace? Jace. Flushed. Mel. I'll take that as a yes. Mel helps Jace up, and hands him his hammer. Sachi's child. She was fighting Lux and Garen, and upon seeing Izuku in the distance, she would try to take down the two brothers so she could talk to her old friend. Saki unleashes a shockwave, sending both brothers crashing into Pike and misfortune. Saki runs at full speed, dodging explosives, bullets, spells, and anything else that gets in her way. Before Saki could even touch Izuku's cloak, a punch from V would send her flying far away. Izuku. Thank you, unaware of who V hit. I saw. You're welcome, without knowing who he hit. Sachi's child. She ended up on the other side of Summoner's Rift. Saki stands up and sees that her teammates were losing. Saki. Damn, we have to do something. At that moment, Saki remembers what Aizawa told them. Saki. Of course, the equipment. Saki presses a button on her suit, and it transforms into armor. Saki activates a communicator in her helmet. Saki. Guys, listen up, use your armor, there's no other way we can defeat them without some help. Everyone agreed with what Saki said, and they activated their armor. Runeterra's exercise retreated, and they were more than ready to attack. Izuku steps forward and attacks with his lightning. Todoroki launches an ice beam, and could barely contain Izuku's beam. Jace takes advantage of this and strikes Todoroki with his hammer, leaving him seriously injured. Momo launches some missiles, but Riven cuts them all in half. Saki steps forward, as does Izuku. Izuku. Stop all this madness already. Saki. You know very well that we must always fulfill our mission. Saki activates her weapon and points it at Izuku's friends. Sachi's classmates were about to attack, but a green flash appeared in the sky, and something crashed into classes 1A and 1B. The smoke clears, and everyone is amazed to see who saved them. Echo. Did I arrive on time? Jinx. Face holding back tears. V. That's my boy, open mouth smile. Izuku approaches him and gives him a tight hug. Izuku. You're always on time, buddy. He pulls away from the hug. Echo. That's my thing, isn't it? The students stand up, and Iida tries to attack, but at that moment, everything stops, and everyone returns to their previous positions. Iida tries to attack, but Echo throws his skateboard, knocking him out and breaking his helmet. Echo. That was close. Hiding the Z button. At that moment, someone grabs him from behind and begins to suffocate him. Echo turns around, and sees that it was Jinx. Jinx. You damn, miserable, time waster, ball wrecker, don't ever do this to me again, loudly crying. Echo manages to break free from Jinx's grip and tries to catch his breath. Echo. Also, it's good to see you. Powder notices his new haircut, you look great. Jinx. Thanks, smile. Mind, maybe I should get haircuts more often. The students were about to attack again, but Saki stopped them. Saki. Wait, I'll do it. Mina. What, are you serious? Saki. Yes, I'll finish this. Saki reactivates her weapon, and approaches the champions. Seraphine. It'll be a piece of cake, we just have to attack all together. Jin. Yes, time for action, pulls out his dancing grenades. Izuku. Stop, I'll do it, I'll fight her. Jace. Are you sure? Izuku. Of course. Orianna. Be careful. Izuku. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Izuku takes a step forward, and everyone else steps back. Garen. Your friend has the soul and courage of a true warrior. Lux. It's super awesome, open mouth smile. V. They have no idea. Izuku and Saki were ready to fight. Saki Attica con Toto Izuku. But he counters their attacks with the help of his energy beam. Saki fires her weapon, and several missiles are launched from it. Izuku also fires his beam, and increases its power. Saki increases the power of her weapon to the limit, and Izuku would begin to feel some pain from the excess of her beam. Izuku was beginning to lose his balance, but he would feel a great surge of energy emanating from his body. Izuku's body begins to change its appearance, his staff increases in size, an energy sphere appears from it, and his beam changes to a pale blue color. Orianna. Anguished. Jinx. Saluting face. Jace. Open mouth smile. The students try to intervene in the fight, but Izuku doesn't allow it. Izuku raises his staff, and the energy sphere shoots out of it, attacking the students. The sphere begins to generate energy discharges, and this knocks the students unconscious. Izuku. No interfering. Saki stops shooting and dodges Izuku's beam. Saki throws some grenades, but Izuku dodges them and throws them back at Saki. Saki tries to dodge them, but they end up hitting her squarely. Saki falls to the ground, her armor badly damaged. Izuku approaches her and takes her left arm with his third arm. Izuku stares at her, and takes off his mask. Izuku. This victory belongs to us. Izuku points his staff at a cleared area, and a portal opens there. Izuku throws Saki at the portal. The champions grab the students and throw them into the portal, which then closes. Jace. Where did you send them? Looking at Izuku. Izuku. On my way home. In Musafatu. The portal that the students built is activated, and classes 1A and 1B would emerge from it. Monoma stands up, and a noticeable annoyance can be seen on his face. Monoma. Don't think you're going to defeat me like that. Monoma would try to enter the portal, but it suddenly closes. Monoma approaches the control panel, but it explodes, taking the portal with it. With Izuku, everyone was celebrating their great victory. Mel approaches Jace and plants a big kiss on his lips. Mel. So tell me, how do you plan to celebrate changing the future? Smile. Jace. I have some ideas. Izuku returns to his normal form, and Orianna approaches him. Orianna. Well done, Izuku, you make me proud. Izuku. I only did what was right for everyone. Orianna. Well, I guess everything will be quiet from now on. Izuku smiles at Orianna, and she gives Izuku a big kiss. Jin. Oh, to hell with it. Jin takes Seraphine and gives her a huge kiss, tongue and all. Seraphine. Flushed. Months later, we find ourselves in the streets of Piltover, where a subject could be seen escaping from V, who had some bruises on her legs. The subject enters an alley. V runs as fast as she can, but upon entering the alley, she is surprised by what she sees. V. Isha, anguished. Source. Open mouth smile hand waving. I saw a note that Isha was sitting on the unconscious body of the man. V. How are you here? You're supposed to be at school. I brought her. V turns around, and sees that it was Izuku. Izuku. I thought you might need some help. I had it under control. Izuku. Those muscular legs tell a different story, they look badly injured, maybe you should ask Lux to heal you before, you know. V. The big day, right. Izuku. The big day. Source. Smile. Con Caitlin. She was having tea, along with Jace, Mel, and Orianna. Jace. Hey, what happened to that girl, Maddie? Mel. Let's just say he got what he deserved for his betrayal of Piltover. Memories of Caitlin. End of Caitlin's memory. Caitlin. I don't feel very well. Orianna. Maybe it's just something temporary. Caitlin. I hope so, I still have trauma from that day. Jace. Don't worry, besides, there's still something we need to do. Caitlin. What? Mel. The big day, did you forget, is tomorrow. Caitlin. Tomorrow, but there are still many things that need to be done. Orianna. No, everything is ready, the outfits, the place, the reservation, and the food. Caitlin was now too nervous. Jace. It will be a day to remember. Caitlin. It's best if you don't talk anymore, Jace. Jace. Okay. With Izuku, he, Isha, and V were heading to the girls' school. V. I'd like to know what they teach Isha at school. The poor thing hasn't even learned to speak yet. Izuku. I don't think that's due to learning, maybe it's something medical. I saw. What? Izuku. Perhaps Isha suffered some damage to her vocal cords. I saw Isha now, and I would approach her. V. Is that what happened, little one? Isha just looks away. V. I see. Hey, Izuku, could you know. Izuku. My healing power only works on wounds and illnesses that are in real time and time. Isha's damage has already healed, but it took away her ability to speak. V. You really are a useless magician. Izuku. Face exhaling. With Jin and Seraphine, they were both in Piltover Park, and they both seemed quite happy. Seraphine. Hey, Jin, wait for me here, I'll be right back. Jin. Okay, I'll wait for you here. Jin would see Seraphine walk away, but he would feel something on his left shoulder, and when he turned around, he would be stunned to see who it was. Camille. Hola, Jin. Jin. No. Crying. Con Seraphine. She was buying ice cream, but several gunshots could be heard in the background. Seraphine turns around, and sees Jin running at full speed away from the area. Seraphine. Jin. Seraphine sees Camille chasing Jin. Seraphine. Mom. Wait, Mom, more Jin, too, oh no, Jin, love, run. Starts running. Jin's son. He would throw his dancing grenades, but Camille would cut them in half with her legs. Before Camille could cut Jin in half, a sonic wave would send Camille crashing into a fountain. Jin looks back, and he would see his savior. Jin. My beautiful musical angel, face holding back tears. Seraphine helps him get up. Camille approaches them, but Seraphine stands in front of Jin. Camille. Seraphine, stand aside. Seraphine. No, I won't let you hurt Jin. He's a good person, he helped us win the war, he's the love of my life, and if you can't accept that, then forget you have a daughter. Camille would be surprised by Seraphine's words. Jin. Seraphine. Camille. I see, if this criminal is so important to you, then I have no other choice. Camille pulls Seraphine away and grabs Jin by his tie. Camille. If you hurt her in any way, I will kill you in the slowest and most painful way possible, is that clear? Jin. See. Camille. So what, Jin? Yes, Mrs. Camille Farrows. Camille lets go of Jin, and leaves the place. Camille. I'll wait for you for dinner, darling. Seraphine. Yes, Mom. Jin falls backward and faints. Seraphine. Jin. That same night, Jin wakes up and finds himself in the living room of Caitlin's house. Jin. How long will it be? Izuku. Half an hour dead, and 5 hours unconscious. Seraphine Abraza Jin. Seraphine. Jin, I'm so proud of you, you're the best person in the world. V. You said it. Looks at Isha. Well, Isha, what do you want to do now? Isha takes a sheet of paper from her backpack and shows it to the group of teenagers. Jace. Kiarisa Jinx. Isha nods. Caitlin approaches Isha. Caitlin. Isha, I know you all love Jinx, but she and Echo went out to have fun tonight, and I assure you, she misses you as much as you miss her. Isha now looked at Caitlin with a somewhat puzzled expression. Caitlin. I'm sure they'll be back soon. Cold sweat smile. Jinx y Echo. With Izuku. He and V were now talking in the garden of the Karaman family mansion. Izuku. To be honest, I'm a little nervous about tomorrow. V. Don't make things up. Izuku. It's the truth. V. Ha, you really are a chicken. Izuku. Could a chicken stop one of Riven's most lethal cuts? V. Was it you? I thought it was Silas. Izuku. No, Fui yo. V. Okay, hey, how about a fight before bed? Izuku. That sounds good to me. They both move away from each other, and V activates her gauntlets, while Izuku puts on his mask. We. 60. Izuku. Dos. V. Izuku. 1. They both lunge at each other, and V would throw the first punch. Izuku dodges V's attack and launches a beam of energy. V blocks the energy beam with her gauntlets, and propels herself forward to attack. Before V could attack, a gunshot would draw the attention of both legends. They both looked to the left, and they would see Caitlin with her rifle in hand, and with clear rage in her eyes. Caitlin. Angry. You, Izuku. Worried. Caitlin. Time for bed, and you're not allowed to fight. Caitlin takes Izuku and V's weapons. They both enter the mansion and go up the stairs that lead to the bedrooms. Caitlin. What am I going to do with these two? With her right hand covering her face. The next day, now they were all in a church, and V could be seen wearing an elegant white dress, standing on an altar. Jin. How exciting. Seraphine. Yes, I always knew they would end up together. At that moment, Caitlin enters the place, wearing a beautiful white dress. V. Mind, she looks so beautiful. Caitlin approaches the altar, and stands right in front of V. V. You look beautiful. Caitlin. You too. A few minutes later, everyone was celebrating Caitlin and V's wedding. Orianna notices that Izuku is not in the crowd, and decides to go look for him. With Izuku, he was outside the building, looking at his cane. At that moment, a flash of light would appear in front of Izuku, and as it dissipated, someone would be face to face with Izuku. Izuku. F. Greetings, young me. Izuku was speechless at what he was seeing. Izuku. How is it that? Izuku. F. You'll learn it in a couple of years, I just wanted to keep an eye on how things are going these days. Izuku. Are you just passing through? Izuku. F. Something like that approaches him. I'll give you some advice, young man, keep an eye on what's going on around you, you never know what kind of wonders you might miss if you're distracted. The staff of future Izuku begins to glow, and he begins to disappear. Izuku. F. We'll see each other very soon, young me. The Izuku of the future disappears, leaving our current Izuku with quite a few questions. At that moment, Orianna arrives at the place. Orianna. Izuku, I was looking for you. Are you all right? Izuku turns to look at Orianna, and he would approach her. Izuku. I think I saw myself, but I think I can leave that for tomorrow. He kisses her. Orianna reciprocates her boyfriend's beautiful gesture and kisses him with great happiness. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and make sure to like and please hype this video. Now we will see you in the next video.